So continuing on how underused some colors are, or how we tend to go to the same colors over and over, I thought we'd look at yellow in this video and this class, and especially in terms of, I've been really obsessed lately with Charles Burchfield. But yeah, look, I'm showing you right now just a variety of yellows. Shades of yellow, values, hues is just such a wide range, and I think a lot of us, including myself, knee-jerk kind of to the same yellows all the time. So how can you mix kind of interesting yellows? Uh, there's a couple of ways you could do it. You can start just by exploring what each base hue will do for you, um, and make sure you have a variety of yellows in your palette. But look at the cadmium yellow medium. When you start mixing it with earth tones, even greens and reds, and whites, you start getting these a much more varied collection of yellows for your disposal. And where do they go? I don't know when a yellow goes to green and when a yellow becomes orange. I don't know exactly when that is, but I thought we'd make a variety of colors in this class, just using everything at our disposal. Primary yellow, you can see there's a variety of more orangey, more kind of desaturated, muted. If you're going to do this, I would suggest mixing with burnt umber. You can lighten your, or darken using darker lights or darker yellows. Obviously whites. White actually mixes pretty good with yellow. I don't love mixing white with a lot of things, but I do with yellow. These are some of the rich, beautiful colors you get with Indian yellow, and they obviously are a little more orangey. And so again, I don't know if some of these are officially not yellow I've mixed. That's very probable, but I think you could get away with using them on something like a lemon. I mean, Cezanne certainly did. But, you know, some of these greenish colors could be great shadows on a yellow object. Yellow ochre is obviously a natural, and I actually don't know if it's officially considered part of the yellow palette by the paint manufacturers, or if it's more an earth tone, but I thought we'd mix it here. You can see you can get these beautiful lighter yellows by mixing them with yellow ochre with a more like primary yellow or cadmium yellow. So that's kind of on the right. They're really gorgeous here. Naples Yellow again, the straight out of the tubes on the left, but you can see, like, especially that second one, when you start mixing it with you mix it with burnt umbers or yellows or reds, you get a kind of wide range of really muted, muddy yellow adjacent colors. I don't know if a lot of these are officially yellow, but I'm going to say they are because I like what's happening when we blend them. If you want to desaturate a yellow, I always start with purple. I think to me that's the best way to desaturate, but you could also do it with burnt sienna, gray. You could desaturate primary yellow with a more orangey or a more green yellow. You could really experiment. Using black and gray, it tends to get really green for me, so I don't ever mix my yellow with black unless that's what I want. And we'll also look at more, how do you warm up yellows? You obviously put more red in it, and then you go towards orange. If you want to cool it down, you add more of the purple and the blue. So let's look at Charles Burchfield, who's done a ton. He started out he was also a wallpaper designer, illustrator, watercolorist, but he did a ton of sunflowers. They're among my favorite artworks. When I play that game, like what I would buy if I was a billionaire, this is top 10. I would buy a Charles Burchfield's sunflower. I just find them such an interesting mix of realism in this magic realism painting style. You know, like looking through sunflowers at a village, and it's just so emotional. Look at all the yellows. So if you think back to the mixing pages, you can then start to see that in these. I unfortunately waited too long to do this, or didn't even come up with it, so I don't have sunflowers I'm going to guess tomorrow. I will bring other yellow flowers and sunflower printouts if you do want to go the path of Charles Burchfield. I love this combination of a realistic world that I can identify with and place myself in, but it's like the undercurrents of it are visible. Some other famous sunflower painters, Egon Schiele, did these beautiful, beautiful. This could be really fun for someone. And again, notice he goes in the warmer in some of these, and then the cooler and more tonal in others. Van Gogh did so many sunflowers, again, because he was poor, and he painted what was available to him. But look at the variety of yellows and oranges he experiments with himself, and the background and how that impacts the color. And yeah, it's really so beautiful. You could try tomorrow to be realistic. I'll bring in maybe some lemons. you know, butter, I can imagine you just try and actually match the exact yellow of a natural object. I do have some of those butterflies that are yellow, I believe. You could bring in fabric. Yellow is a great tool for making something the focal point, like this Munch painting, Jackson Pollock, Klimt. If you're looking for a way to make a strong focal point, obviously it's often a warm color in a sea of cool. It's super powerful, but especially yellow. And even this Naples Yellow in Manet, which is really the draw in this picture. It's very subtle. You could do arbitrary colors where you make yellow something yellow that could not be, like a river or a horse or a grass. You could make yellow your just dominant color of your entire painting and build everything around the fact that you want the majority of it to be yellow. And yeah, I love these paintings, and Rothko did that. But a contemporary painter who does that is Jennifer Packer, who we have definitely looked at a lot. But yeah, she'll do a dominant yellow painting quite frequently, especially in these flowers. So yeah, I hope you are inspired to think of what yellow you might want to paint, and I will have flowers in. If you're working on something else still, maybe just take a little yellow break. Okay, see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, and this quote, yellow is capable of charming God. I love that quote. Bye.